Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Nice. Everything, it seems like it's working. Yep. Okay. We're about to get into this. Nice. Everything, it seems like it's working. Yep. Okay. We're about to get into this. All right, cool. Let's get into this. So I'm basically doing a kind of like a daily render. Today we're going to be doing some scattering. Um, camera. I don't need it. Whatever. Turn it off today. I don't have any batteries ready. Let's turn off that too. And let's turn off that too. There we go. Let's keep the timer. So what we're gonna do is do some scattering on this stuff here. On like this moss garden, I'm gonna scatter some trees back here and then another layer of trees back there. And I'm not really happy with the light, but we'll work on that later. For right now, the last day I've been working on the interior, and now we're going to get into the. Uh-oh, what just happened? I lost the server right when the stream starts. Of course, why not? Okay, let's get this thing fired back up. I'm gonna be really angry if I have to restart. I really haven't had any issues with the server until this moment now, which is kind of odd. Okay, let's go back here. Let's see what happens. Again, basically exploring my adventures into Octane Scatter, which is pretty cool. I'm having some fun using this thing. Let this thing update again. Again, basically exploring my adventures into Octane Scatter. Come on, come on. Make sure this thing didn't turn off again. Nope. Let's just let it update. There's a lot of stuff going on, and all of these files that I have in here are high quality, 2K, 4K, all of them. There we go. So that's the scene that we've got here going so far. Okay. So first thing first. Yeah, we'll leave that on. Let's get this scene. I've got it pretty much nice and tidy already. I don't need this. We're going to scroll that up for now. All right, and I'm going to make a new, let's just add in a plane first. Actually, yeah, let's just add in a new plane. Scale this up. And I'm trying to think about how should I do this first. What should I do first? Moss, trees. I guess I probably should start with the moss. We'll start with the moss first. All right, we're gonna put this into a new collection called a scat. Let's call it scat moss. And in this plane, I'm also going to call it moss. Let's apply it. Ooh, what the heck happened there? Undo. Apply scale. Okay. What the heck is going on with this, dude? That was weird. Undo. Actually, I don't like that. What that's doing. Let's turn that off. Turn this back on. That was really weird. Let me turn this off for a second here. Tab into edit mode. Let me scale this up. Tab out. Turn this on. Alright, put this into scat. Scat moss. Let's name it moss again. Alright, now we don't have to worry about doing that. Let's go to the shading tab. I'm going to isolate that. And we're going to add a scattering onto it. Octane scattering. Come in here to new. I'm going to call it moss underscore scat. Delete that. Add in a scatter. Oh, actually, we want to do scattering on surface. Scattering on surface. Plug that into the displacement. Pop out this node here. I'm going to select that to Octane. I'm going to grab this, select our moss. I'm going to close that. Then I'm going to grab our plane. Come down here to data properties. I'm going to change this from Blender to Octane. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to grab our moss. Scat. There it is. And then grab surface scat. And it disappears and that means it's working. Cool. All right. Now, assets. What do we want to scatter on this? I definitely want to paint my scatter because I definitely want to. We'll see first. I might just get a. Well, yeah, now I want to paint it because I don't want all my moss on this, on my gravel path. Okay, so let's go into plant factory. Bushes. I thought I had some moss. Actually, I know what moss I want to use. I'm going to go into my geoscatter plant library. This is available for my Prime members who are in my Prime community. I already converted this full asset library for them, and you guys they can have it there. Grass. I have some moss in here. I know I do. Let's see here. I think it's clumpy tiny grass. Forest. Oh, forest moss. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's get a nice tidy setup of this. Actually, I want to put them right here on the roof. That thing's gonna be nice. Right there. And let's do another one right there. Okay. And then I'm gonna take this one, M, make a new collection called scat stuff. Just to keep everything in there. I know I'm spelling it wrong because I don't care. All right, cool. Now let's put these into the scattering system. And the way we do that is we click back on our scattering plane. We're going to grab an object. we want two objects. We're gonna grab this one, put it that to Octane, get another one, and I'm gonna put that to Octane. Then we're gonna come back to unhide that, and let's click on our. This plane is really annoying. That is my plane that I'm using to break up the sunlight. And I'm so tired. I've been fighting with that thing for the last day until now. There, I cannot select it. Cool. Nice. And this is the moss. I'm gonna probably use a different couple mosses. I think I want to actually end up using a few mosses here. Matter of fact, before we even get into that, let me stop this. Let me save this. I'm gonna throw this down. I'm gonna come here and open up a new instance of Blender, because I'm already gonna tell you now I need another moss. I'm gonna open up my plant factory file here, which I use for plant. And let me see, I thought I had another moss asset in here. No, if I did, it would be available in my library. Okay, so we're gonna grab another patch of a moss really fast. I'm gonna go to Plant Factory. If you guys don't know what Plant Factory is, it is a free source of procedural stuff. It's really cool. But here is a patch of moss. And I'm gonna go to presets. I don't want, this is a small pillow. This is a big one. Let's go with this big one. We got a big one and we got a really big one. Then we've got small, wild, medium wild. Let's go with the medium wild. I'm gonna take this, export this as a mesh. Blender, yes, export as, I don't know what this word is, so we're gonna add in moss with that, underscore. I'm gonna go, what was it, medium, mid, I'm gonna go mid, now mid, wild. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm building an asset. I've been building assets as I go, so I'll never have to do this again. So do it right the first time. All right, let's export that. It's going to save into the folder. Let me minimize that. Let's jump back into Blender Plant Factory, File, Import FBX, and it should be today. My moss wild right here. Import that in. GX, slide that over. Here it is. And how many materials on this? Geez, we have a lot of materials on this. Okay. So let's just go there and convert these materials. I am using the cycles to Blender converter. It is available. I just did a video about it. Links in the description for it. I don't think it's in this video. If it is, I'll have to take a look. It should be. And then let's let that update. I want to check the gamma if I need to change these gammas to 2.2. But while we're waiting, I'm going to come here, and it did convert all of them. It did. Good. Again, just doing some housekeeping because this is going to be a final asset. Normally I also would put a color correction node in between the albedo, but right now, I guess I should just do it while we're at it to help me also later on when I decide to tweak things, right? It just helps. Just saving steps later. Probably don't need it on all of them, but oh well. I'd rather have them there than not. All right, boom, that's done. Here is the moss. And it looks like we're missing something here on one of these. And that's typically when something's plugged into an opacity. Yeah, we are missing something. This looks like a ball of mush. Okay. Let's come in here. This is plugged into the opacity, right? Yes, opacity. Okay. That looks right. 1.1, 2.2 gamma. That's right there. That is right. It looks like they're all correct. What's going on here? I don't know what's wrong. I guess that... What is that? Like, what does it look like it has like this? What is this right here? Interesting. I probably should just do this in the cycles really fast just to see what it was looking like. Yeah, there's green stuff right there is not correct. Leaf, 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 green leaf, green leaf. And I wonder if one of them, maybe this one might be missing a image map. Let's come in here. 1BD1. Nothing is plugged into the alpha. All right. That didn't work. Okay, hang on. Okay, I don't want to try to troubleshoot this one right now. Why is that? Let me see if I just take that one off. Ooh, okay, it is that material then. It's whatever that material was that I just played with right there. What if we just take the opacity 0? There we go. There it is. I guess that's an option. So if you want that there, you can possibly have that to hide these holes. But I don't want that. So we're just going to leave it like this. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to come in here, mark asset. And then that should bring it up in here. Ooh, I never put all these other trees in here that I worked on. That should also, these guys should be in trees. And this guy's going to be in, we'll make a new one, moss. Save that. Turn the render off. Should I keep that open? No, it's fine for now. We'll close it. All right, let's get back to it. And let's add in one more. Plant factory. Moss. There it is. Well, yeah, that's huge. And I definitely don't like, I want that to sit a little bit more lower to the ground. So I'm gonna tab into that, go to front view, GZ. Like that, there we go. All right, let's add these back to the system. Not scattering, yep. And now we can add these in. Let's take one more of these, shift duplicate that into scattering. Select this to random. And then we'll go ahead and select them 1, 2. I might end up separating them later. Depends on how I want them. Let's see. All right. And then with Octane, it's scattering. Does not work until you turn on the renderer. Just let it update these shaders. The first initial time it takes a minute because it's basically putting the shaders like in the system. Then after that we're good. And like I said, I'm running high quality. I'm running 4K, 2Ks all the way across right now, mainly 4Ks. Let's just wait. Ah, here they come. Boom. All right, now this is where the fun happens. Now what I want to do is turn this from instance to random instance on relative. And then right now, let's see. I see this one here, which is wrong. Back here on the scatter. This ground plane, I don't want to keep selecting that either while we're working on the ground right now. So ground, I'm gonna turn that off as far as ticking. All right, cool. And let's turn this to front. Nope. Turn this up. Nope. Oh, you know what? I forgot to do something here. Go back to the mosses. And we're gonna turn these back to, I'm gonna select all three of them. 1, 2, and 3. I probably might split these up because these are different types of moss here, dude. We come down here to object and change this from Blender to Octane. Hold down Alt, Octane. All right, and now that should be correct now. Yeah, there it is. All right, cool. Let's go back here, click on this, and now let's crank it up. I'm gonna open this up a little bit like that. And right now we have one instance. There it is, one instance. So if I just crank this up to like, oh dude, what the heck happened? All right, then I'm gonna get a random rotation on this. Gonna go randomize independent access. I'm gonna go to 360. Oh, not that one. I think it's the middle one. 360 random. Yeah, I don't like how they're all up on each other like that either. Okay. Let's go to also scale independent axes. And that means that one would be the biggest and the smallest is do half of that 0.5. Okay, now, yeah, I don't like how they're stacking up on each other. So let me try something here. Let me go to geometry. Let's grab a placement node and we'll grab it on, I think was this one was the different, yeah, this one was a different one. Pop out a transform on this, and that's going up. Let's move this. Yeah, it's not doing what I want. Okay, I'm not gonna fight it. So this is what we're gonna do. We're just gonna kill this right here. And I'm just gonna keep these little guys here. And let's crank this up to like 1,000. All right, maybe let's go 5,000. I want to get a lot of coverage. 10,000. Okay. Let's see what this is looking like. All right, I definitely don't need it everywhere. So what we're gonna do is start to come in here, and I'm gonna do a custom paint. 10,000 is a lot, so we're gonna cut that in half right now, 5,000. And what's really killing it is just because the transparency on these. That's what's really killing, slowing everything down. Let me see quickly too. Scattering is set to 8. I'm gonna set that to 4 for right now while I'm working on the scattering. Let's turn the speculation down to 8. See if that improves things a little bit. Okay. Now what I want to do is paint with this. We're going to come in here and we're going to go to density, currently map. I'm going to pop in a image texture, grayscale image texture. Image, grayscale image. And then we're going to go new. And I'm going to call it moss paint. And yeah, that's fine. Black, okay, that's fine. New. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off for a second. And then we're going to go use this for paint. Save it. Then we're going to come up to paint mode, texture paint, moss paint, and this is going to be where we're going to paint. I'm going to use a light brush. I'm going to turn this to black. And then, so I'm going to press X. And we shouldn't see anything right now. Let me turn the render on really fast to make sure. Yeah, we don't see anything. Okay, cool. So if I wanted to paint, I should come down here on the side. All right, had to bring the laundry in. Okay, I'm gonna crank this up back to 1,000 or 10,000, and I'm gonna paint this pretty heavy around this guy here. All right, sorry guys, just muting stuff because my daughter's getting crazy. Um, let's go back to that paint so I can see what I'm doing here. What I need to try to do is just instead of painting randomly, I want to kind of paint where this texture is showing these darker patches because that's more heavily mossed. So pressing F here also downsides this. So kind of paint where these marks are at here. You know, some of the stuff I can probably take off. I don't need to have everything on. Help improve the viewport a little bit more. Also, like, I don't need to have on the stone wall right now. We don't need to have on the room or the door. Yeah, there we go. Getting a lot more improvement. And a lot of this is not even going to be seen. So once the scene is done, then I'll come back and start cutting out things that are not even in the render view, in the viewport. Okay. Let me go back and look at my reference. I have a book of Japanese gardens here, so that's what I'm using as my reference on how thick I want this to be. Okay. Let's see what this is looking like. Alright, and these guys are floating off the ground now. What's the easiest way to fix that? I could do that through the scatter. Or I could just do what I think I brought up the plane anyways. Let's go back to object mode and I'm gonna go GZ. There we go. Now this green is a little too bright too. But that's fine. I'll come in and start adjusting colors later. Let me just keep moving forward. All right, now what I'm gonna do is make another scatter system. So all I'm gonna do is grab this plane, shift duplicate it, come in here, moss, big. I'm gonna grab that name, copy that, turn off the render so I can work quickly. I'm gonna make a copy of this, paste this moss big on here. Now when we duplicate this, we have to change all this data for our scattering system. And I'm gonna change this to, it should be moss big. There it is, moss big. And then we need to also change in the data properties. Come over here to data, turn that off, come in here, moss big. And there it is, moss big. And then these, we need to change out the mosses here. So I'm gonna take that out, we're gonna take that out. And then I'm going to unplug this curly map because we're gonna paint a new one. And then I'm gonna add in our new moss, which is this big one here. Grab that there. Okay, let's kill this because we don't need that for now. And then let's quickly come back here, make sure this is saved, save, save. Okay, I want to make a new painting mask. So I'm going to kill that. And then I'm going to go new moss big. Say new material, paint. Yes, I want to paint. Plug that into the curly map. 10,000. I'll leave all the settings there. Everything else is good. Random. Well, we're random. We only have one in here, so that's fine. All right, let's turn this back on. All right, now I'm going to use the big ones kind of in these brighter areas. These brighter areas. Yeah. And these are pretty big, but I can bring the size down on them later. Might add another one in here, just a smaller one to get some more variation. All right, let me turn some stuff back on and see what we're looking like. Turn the room back on, stone wall. All right. Yeah, I'm not happy with this at all. What the heck happened to my nodes? Oh, there they go. All right, moss big is a little too big. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this out again. Then we're gonna come in here, go to geometry, placement node, add a placement node right there, and then pop out this transform node. I'm gonna cut this in half, 0.5. Yep, and I definitely don't want it right here on this path. I'm gonna go back to paint, hit that, and we can delete that right off the map. Yeah. It's too much. I'm gonna erase some of that back off of there. We can get some more back over here. Okay. I'm gonna need some low covering grass. I think I want to do some low covering grass. Let me select back to my other moss because this is a little bit too much on this path here. Whoops, X. Oh, I think I'm still. Oh, I'm still painting on big moss. Okay, no, that's not what I want. Yeah, it does say it's painting on big moss. Okay, turn that off. Come back here, click on that. Now I should be able to come back here, paint into that, and now we should be able to do the paint on here. Yeah, there we go. Nice. Now, whoops. Do want to get a little bit of stuff. Let me shift my brush down. X. Kind of art direct this a little bit more. Because like we have moss on this actual texture here already. So there definitely should be moss on this, right? All right, let me come back out of this object mode, big moss, paint mode. Let's go bigger on that brush. Yeah, see, there we go. Oh, too much. Ooh, way too much. Okay. Now, save this. I need to get some type of major grass covered. Let me look at this here. Okay, we need more grass. All right, let's do rinse repeat. Jump out of here, save this really quick, turn this off so I can move a little bit faster. I'm gonna grab shift duplicate this. I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna go this. We're gonna call this grass, low grass. Low grass cover. And we'll copy that. Then, same thing, pop that up, paint that there, come in here, low grass cover, come over here, change the data properties, low grass cover. All right, and then let's pull this out of there. We don't need that. And pull that out of there. We don't need that. All right, save that. Now, what should we use for the low grass cover? I need like a ground cover. Like a grass cover. Now, typical in typical Japanese gardens, we don't have like grass. It's not grass. It's literally just moss. It's massive patches of moss. So I need something more like that. What does this look like? See what this looks like. Yeah, I might be able to get away with that. Let me try grass walled. What do we have in the grass walled assets? These are all single assets. That's the only thing I don't like. Like I use these for getting like decorative when I really start individually placing things. Oh, hang on. This looks interesting. What does this look like? Oh, that's way too small. Yeah, that's way too small. Way too small. And I think this is more moss right here. Yeah, this is all moss, but they're just like little tiny pieces. See? Yeah, these are just like literally pieces of moss, which work good on close-ups. Like when I'm doing something that's really close up. Same here. Yeah, these are all just single assets. These are not going to help me. I need mass coverage. All right, let me go back to let's go back to my plant factory. I think I had one ground stuff. Here we go. Let's try some of these guys here. Like, what is this? Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, that could work. What else do we have? Yeah, that could kind of work. Between the grass and this and the moss, I think I can get this to work. What I also need, I think I need to push the displacement a little bit harder on my ground. Ground. Mossy embankment. Which one do I have the displacement coming out of? Oh, no, this one. Okay. That color is really bugging me. I gotta fix that. I'm sorry. I gotta go to. I gotta fix that. Scatter moss stuff. I think that's going to be grass forest. These ones here. Again, this is when I was building the asset. That's why I put that color corrector node in here, so I can control that easily. Let's knock that down to 90%, 80%. Hang on, is that on the right web? Color correction, that is on the right one. Let me make sure 0. Okay, yeah, that is on the right one. Let's go 60%. And let's darken it up a little bit. 1.2 on the gamma. 2. That's getting brighter. 1. Signal's getting bad. What's going on? I've been doing so much downloading today, my Wi-Fi is probably full. Alright, we'll go to the Wi-Fi quits. Okay, that's at least matching now. And let's say also, let's grab this other one here, which is this one. Again, let's kind of make that down to 80. Gamma, maybe up a little bit, 1.3. Nope. Gamma 1. Go down a little bit. Saturation 80. I'm not seeing the difference on this one here. So it's going to be a combination of both. Okay. I think that's fine for now. Let's get back to the second ground cover here. Let's go back to low ground cover. And low ground cover. Yes, yes. Let's start with this low cover grass. And let's try that first. And let me go ahead and turn these other ones off for a moment. Low cover grass. Don't need a paint right now. Let's actually just pull that paint out and let's just go full on 10,000. We need to flip it to Octane. All right, there we go. That lays flat. And let's, where's it at? Where's it at? Low cover grass. We're at 10,000. Let's go 50,000. And it still feels like, oh, you know why I'm not getting covers? Because of the displacement from the other grounds. So if I was to G this up, it should be way more thicker. Yeah, it should be way more thicker. But because of the displacement from the other ground planes below it, it makes it feel a little bit more sparse. So even if I take this up to 80,000. Right, let's get down low. Let me see how bad that's looking. That's not looking that bad. I actually kind of like it. Let me see what it looks like in here. All right, and then if I come in here to translation, set that back to 0, hold down shift and just kind of go minus. And just kind of bring it in. Kind of like that. Alright, we're gonna need to paint it. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna plug this into curly map, new one, grass, and I'm gonna change this to white this time because I want it to be everywhere. Say yes, and then paint, 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 black, and then I want to just get my pathway here. And then we'll just start to art direct it here. X. Okay. Save that. Save all images. Go back to here. Turn on moss. Turn on big moss grass. Let's see what we're looking like now. And then see how I turn them on. It doesn't show up. Turn off the render and turn it back on. Alright, I think I need to bring up my path just a little bit. I can't remember where I put my path at. Where was my path? The ground? Room? It might have got put in the wrong place. Hang on. Oh, I did. It got put into room. Okay, stone, shrine, ground, stone. These guys here. Path. Pathway. And let's Jeezy that up just a little bit more. Yeah, that looks a little bit better. Okay, I think that's it for the grass and ground. Now I need some bushes and plants. Once I start getting that going, I can paint more of a story. Like, I feel like definitely I need some like type of bushes here, kind of like the walkway, tree. Let me add a couple trees and I gotta call it quits for today. Let's see here. Let's go back into the front here. I think the trees are really gonna be important. Also, like what the proper trees. Now these type of pine trees, I know I can use these here. I've seen those. I've been in Japan. I've been living here for 10 years, so I know these trees I've seen on site before. I might just hand pick a few of these here. Or should I just do a scatter on these? I think we're going to do a scatter on these. Let's come back into scatter. Actually, we're going to do a new one here. I'm going to add in a new plane. Tab into edit, scale this up. This is going to be scale on the Y, scale X, a little bit past. Tab out of that, GY back here, and even probably scale Y a little bit more deeper. Actually, we're going to go pretty deep. GY. Tab in here, we're gonna call this trees. And then M trees scat. And we'll take that tree. We'll take one of these guys. And maybe one more. This one here. And even maybe a dead one, kind of like off to the side there. Okay, what do those look like? We're not even seeing those GX. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of optimizing once I'm finished on this. What about that first one that I put? Can you even see that? Nope, can't even see that in the scene. JX. The next one actually we could see. Okay, save that. And let's come back to that scattering system here. Tree scat. Octane. Ooh, I forgot I had to change those trees too. Tree scat. Scatter system. Alright. And let's come back here and check this tree. Grab all the trees. And hold down Alt, turn that to Octane. Alright, cool. You won't see anything until again we turn the render on. All right. Let's turn off all these other scatterings for right now while I'm working. Mograss. Actually, we can just turn this whole collection off. Tree scat. There we go. All right, we're not seeing anything. Oh, we haven't selected ground plane. Random relative area. Waiting for image. Did we crash the server? Nope, server's still active. Oh, I don't have anything on there. We're not scattering anything on there. Let me turn this off really quick. There we go. Let's bring this in. Let's grab this tree here. Dude, what happened to my other trees? Oh, they were in the wrong collection. Okay. This should go into scattering stuff. All right, there we go. And I turned off the other one. Scattering moss? Yeah, those other trees were in there. And these should go into scattering stuff. All right, now we can turn that off, right? Yeah, good. And let's go back to tree scat. Make sure that's on Octane. Let's turn it back on. Okay, now we got some trees going. Cool. Shift duplicate this. Kill that. Plug this into there. What tree am I using on here? Let's use this one here. Okay, and we got one more, the dead tree. Where's that dead one at? Oh, this dead one's right here. This one's dead, the dead one. Turn that off. And then click on this one right here. Okay, what's that looking like? We're not even really seeing the trees. Interesting. Let's get some randomness on this here. I also like to just tweak this a little bit and tweak this a little bit. I don't really mess with the scaling on the trees. Let's go 100. Okay. I kind of like that. I might do some smaller trees and hand put them in there. Okay, let's see what this looks like more larger. Let's turn everything else on. I'm definitely gonna need to get a hero tree, like one that's kind of like, I don't know, I'll have to look for a different model, like a Japanese maple tree or something. Alright, it's getting there. It's getting there. And then I'm gonna put a couple dead trees here. I got some logs, dead logs I can throw in there, but this area I still haven't really figured out what I want to do there. As far as I might throw in some rock maybe some rock. I think we're gonna do some rocks. I probably could play with a few rocks here and there. Let's go to Quixel. I got these big guys too, but I don't want those to distract from the hero object here. I'm not sure. Let's go back to... Let's go back to ground. Let's put these guys here in ground. Did I not? Oh, there it is. I dragged it, but it was like way over here. What the heck's going on there, dude? That's weird. Selection to cursor. Dude, what the heck? Oh, maybe because I can... Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. I think I'm gonna have to look for some Quixel Bridge, more assets here. This point, let me go to front view. What I think it is the origin point. Not really in a good position. That rock definitely doesn't look right. Hmm. Oh, okay, there we go. The brightness is on the little rocks there. That kind of changed things a little bit. Okay, there we go. I kind of see what's happening. There's like a... I see what's happening. 2.2. Okay. So like the rock has like that white kind of mossy corrosion. So I can control that. Let's back that off like a little bit, 80. But I still feel like there's another portion of it that's 2.2 gamma, 2.2 gamma. That's dark. Let's see what happens when I take this to 100. Okay, that's like the greenish a little bit. Let's go 60% on there. Okay, this is the moss. And this is more moss, and this is the rock. This one only has just the one now. It still feels like there's a bottom portion here that's off. Oh, that's kind of this one. Let's go 90. I really feel like these guys should be 2.2 gamma. Yep. So it really just depends on what you're going for. I like the 2.2 gamma better. This just doesn't feel right over here for me, these rocks. I think I might get some more Megascan assets and kind of play with it. I'll do that tomorrow because I'm going to have to convert them. And I've been converting all day. But that looks kind of cool. What else did we have? What else do I have on hand? Dang it. What happens if I apply the scale? Oh, nothing. See, this one's 1.5 gamma on this one, and it's way brighter, so it's kind of weird how that works. I think I'm gonna leave it. Maybe. Let's go GX over GY back. Rotate Z a little bit. GY is a little spot here. I'm trying to get it in there. Our Dennis here, we can hide him for now. Because I got a good reference on the size. Save that. And then I know I'm going to put some ferns kind of happening. I don't know if I probably might just do. What time is it? Oh, it's time, dude. I gotta go. Ready to go to bed. I'm freaking tired, dude. Hang on here. I actually really like using the grass walled assets. Look really nice. Their ferns look really nice. What's up? Yo, yo, what's up? Yeah, I like using these ferns. They look really nice. Let's kind of like. This is where the fun really begins. Like just trying to art direct these things. Okay, hang on. Something looked wrong on this. Why is it so glossy like that? Hang on here. Let's quickly do a little bit of checking on these materials here. This should be 1. That's why 2.2. Let me set that to 1. And then this should be albedo 2.2. Okay. I'm going to change this to GGX. Oh, this is set to diffuse. I'm going to set this to thin wall. And no, that doesn't look right. Let's go back to diffuse. That's 1, right? Yep. Oh, this is not right. This should be 1. This should be 1. Yeah, I need to fix these assets. These assets are all off. Okay, that's 1. That's 2. That's 1 gamma 1. It's 2.2, and that's set to 1. It still doesn't look right to me. I normally use thin wall when I do plants. Yeah, but that's definitely not right. I think it might be this right here. Let's go 0.5. Yeah, I think the power is just too high on this. I can just control it. Let's just bring it back a little bit. Yeah, that feels way better. There we go. And actually, this piece here, I'm gonna have to make a new collection called plants. Ground mossy. What is this here? Ground mossy. Turn the moss off in the let's bring this guy down here. And I'm just gonna reuse the hell out of this guy. We're gonna just do some different sizes. I'm gonna go duplicate Z, GX, scale it way down, rotate it Z, tab in here. Let's get this guy sitting on the surface here, GX, Y. I still need I gotta find me some Japanese trees, some Japanese like maples. But I gotta stop for tonight. I'm really burnt out. Okay, let me just get a render here so I can have something to look at tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not happy with my sunlight. What happened to the sun, dude? It used to be way brighter. It seems like the thing's gotten really dark after I added the trees. Interesting. Alright, sun direction. Let's go 200. Maybe even 250. Alright, let's render this. All right, what do we got? I wish Octane had rendering speeds at least as fast as Cycles. I've had Octane in situations been faster when I was doing subscattering and glass. But I trade off speed for quality. I just like the way Octane handles light, the way Octane's lights look, and I'll trade that off for speed anytime. Plus, Octane was only going to get faster as Octane wasn't originally built for cycles. I mean, for Blender, it was, it's built for standalone. So they just implemented it into Cinema 4D first, and it's been there for a while, so it's quick and see. But it's getting way faster. So, but I trade the speed for quality. Um, all right, I don't like these bigger patches of mods here. I'm gonna work on those tomorrow. I don't like the way those look, so I'll probably change those out. Um, and then I'm gonna do some more work on where I'm art directing. I'm not liking this vibe that I'm going for here. I might bring up the path, maybe add a little bit of some more plants here to kind of like, I'm trying to think if this was my backyard, like I would probably have some type of plants here leading to this walkway, and then um at least one tree. What do you think about Cinema 4D in 2026? I don't use Cinema 4D. I have no clue about Cinema 4D ever since I switched to Blender in 2013. Yeah, so I have no clue. Trees. I'm not liking that. I'm gonna change up and mix up some more trees. There's too many of the same. It looks too repetitive back there. So I'm gonna change some different species of trees. I'll have one or two of these, and we'll change that up. But so far, it's getting there. And I'm gonna download some more. Where are they at? I think I already had some more that I was looking at. Yeah, I might play with some of this stuff here. Oh, I could get some roots going too. Yeah, well, I need some more trees if I really wanted to get some roots going. I'm gonna get a couple of those in the background, deep in the forest. Yeah, I need. Here we go. I need some of these. Actually, I'm gonna download that and I'll just get it tomorrow. I'll convert them tomorrow so I don't forget. Oh no, we can't get those. I have to pay for those ones. Really? Oh, that would be kind of cool. Also. Oh, come on! Please tell me I can get these. Yes. Okay, I'll take this. This is definitely cool. We're going high quality. So we'll convert that one tomorrow. Is it only? I think it's a set of two. That'll be nice. Ooh, I could throw something like this back there. That would be really cool, huh? Okay. Gotta say thanks for what you're doing. I have to go. Have a good day. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. You have a good one too, man. Definitely. Are you a member of the free community? You can jump in the free community. I'm always doing like these live streams more on the in there than I am on online here. But yeah, we'll catch you, man. Take care. I think I could use a couple of these. Oh, I think that's pretty big. I don't want that. Dude, how come I can't get these two rocks? It doesn't show up, dude. What's up with that? I gotta pay for those? All right, I'm out. I'm tired.